Good morning. Happy Tuesday. With a different day comes different obstacles. Usually I'm in here on Mondays, so I'm either in the office or I'm downstairs, and the kids don't usually have school on Mondays. So I don't have to worry about anything else going on. Well, Maddox is down there learning. I don't know, the lighting for some reason was terrible. Like things were just not working. So I'm up in my bedroom now with my fake fireplace. It's the coolest. Well, in my head has to be perfect look because otherwise you can see the glare of the window. It's fine, guys. It's called making things work when they might not, right? Um, so welcome. That's not COVID. That's just, oh man. Oh, there's my water. Okay. So let's deal with the backdrop. It's fine. It's great. um, as always, we'll give everyone a few minutes to jump in. Let's see. This weekend, I got to go visit with two. I had a little girls' weekend with Jamie Troll and Kelly Vincent, both members of this group. They're the other CPAs that helped through this last, crazy 6 months of CARES, PPP, EIDL, all the things. So that was the first time I got to meet Kelly. Second time I've got to meet Jamie in real life, and it was awesome. So good to just not only get away, but to finally meet them. So that was great. Just two fantastic women who, you guys, they talk about you're the 5 people you spend your most time with. Right? Well, those two girls, my 2 girls at the office, Carrie and Lindsay, big shout out. And my husband, Travis, those are probably my 5. And I'm going to tell you, that is a fantastic 5 I've got going on. So really excited about that. Proud of that. Yeah. So, okay. So today we started a slightly different schedule, right? So right now we're going to jump into, our weekly training. The weekly training that is usually on Mondays, but I was traveling, so we have it today, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Then we're going to log off just so it's 2 different videos, and we're going to log right back in for updates and Q&A. So that's when you're going to want to bring all the questions you've been piling up for the last 2 weeks. All right. Tax, accounting, and all the things, bring your questions. But we are going to log off this video and log into the different one just so they're 2 different videos in the library. All right. But before Q&A and update, we're going to do our 3rd part of our tax planning series. And as I was preparing this last night, I realized that there's still going to be a lot of questions for those of you that want to end up using our firm for tax planning. And so we'll probably come in here and do a few pop-up Q&As depending on how many questions come my way about this stuff. Just because there's so many new people in here, and the packages, they're so different than what we've offered in the past that I know there's going to be a lot of questions and a lot of, which one's right for me? What should I be doing? Which one, so I think we'll probably end up, instead of spending our Mondays, talking more and more about tax planning, I think we'll probably do some pop-up Q&As about that. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes. So, I guess I should pull up my notes for today. No big deal. Here we go. All right, so let's get started. Happy that you guys are all here. If you do not know me, I am Bree Beers of Bree Beers and Associates. Words. I am a CPA with the goal to enlighten taxpayers and business owners on all things accounting and tax. I understand that y'all don't know what you don't know. So our team at BBA is dedicated to creating all the tools we possibly can to help you shed some light on that unknown. So one of those tools is our awesome Facebook community, Money, Tax, and Finance for Small Business Owners. If that's not where you're watching this right now, you should definitely head on over there. It's a free Facebook group where you get not only access to these videos and the questions and the Q&As and updates, but also to weekly tips, tricks, and some really good conversations. A lot of times you join groups and you're too shy to ask questions. Well, people are asking the questions probably that you want to ask. So head on over there. And all right, so today is part 3 of our tax planning series. And today is, what is advanced tax planning? Okay, I'm going to slow down because obviously words are hard for me this morning. Okay. But before we jump into what advanced tax planning is, I do want to do just a really quick recap of the last 2 weeks. All right. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about who is tax planning for. And when all is said and done, you guys, it really is for anyone. Okay. It doesn't necessarily benefit everyone. Okay. But it is for anyone. And what I mean by that is sometimes you may not be in a position right now to benefit from tax planning, but if you're willing to make some changes, be creative, learn some things, we can get to a point where tax planning can benefit you. So that's why I mean it's for anyone, but not necessarily for everyone. Because if you're stuck on how, if you're got a fixed mindset and you're like, this is how my income comes in and this is what I do, then, and we're not going to change it, then we're not going to be able to open those avenues to make tax planning beneficial for you. But who is it for? It's for anyone, as long as you have an open mind to do some learning, okay, and get some creative and trust us. All right, and the reason I say that is because taxpayers with businesses or who have investments, y'all are going to be the ones that have the most to gain, because tax planning, basic and advanced, our tax loophole or our tax laws, you guys, really are advantageous for business owners, okay, and investors. And so if you have something like that, if you have a business, if you are invested in things, then you're going to open those opportunities. And those are really going to open up when we get into advanced tax planning, which we'll talk about in a second. And to those of you that don't have businesses or investments and you just rely on that W-2 income, I do have some news for y'all, and we'll talk about that maybe at the end. But no, I'll just talk about it now. So we have what's called the 2021 Future Forward Planning Session that's available to y'all. And what that's going to do is it's going to get the ball rolling on how we can open up those tax opportunities, those tax savings opportunities for 2021. Okay, so that's for those of you that don't end up having much wiggle room in 2020, but want to in 2021. Okay, and again, this all comes down to our tax planning packages that are going to open up this week, hopefully, and we'll flood you guys with answers. We'll answer your questions. We'll have those conversations to make sure that you guys are getting the services you're needing. All right. So then last week we talked about what basic tax planning was. And essentially, you guys, what basic tax planning is we're using your 2020 figures year to date, and then we're creating projections to get us through the end of the year for what your income is and what you've paid in tax. And we'll work with you to get all that completed, gather all that information. And then we're going to make sure that you're taking full advantage of everything that's just right available to you based on your current tax picture. Okay. Are you taking advantage of the basic tax deductions, the common credits? Okay. And then we're going to, after all of that is said and done, we're like, yes, we're maximizing this and we're good here. Then we're going to estimate what your year-end income and tax liability are going to be before the actual end of the year. And if you want to know all the benefits and all the reasons why that's important, go watch last week's. But this also gives us the opportunity if you do engage us for some basic tax planning, we will also do an advanced tax reduction discovery session, which we'll talk about a little bit more today, to share with you any possible advanced tax planning options that are available for you to take advantage of. So what is advanced tax planning? So y'all, this is where the magic happens. Okay, this is what we are also starting to call advanced tax reduction. Okay, and what we do here is we'll review your 2020 picture and do all the stuff that you do. No, let me back up. We'll look at your 2020 tax picture. So we'll look at your 2019 tax return. Whether you're a current client of ours or not, we'll get that from you. We look at there's a questionnaire you'll have to fill out about your 2020 activity and your goals and all that. We'll look at all that. And then we give you a rough estimate of the amount of taxes we'll be able to save you with some advanced tax reduction strategies, right? If we'll say, okay, so it's a high level review. Okay. That's what we start with our tax. They're called tax discovery calls. So we start with this high level review, say, okay, based on your goals, based on your taxes, based on this year's income, all the things, we can save you X amount of dollars in 2020 taxes with some advanced tax strategies, and then we'll build the plan based on what you actually want to do. All right, and the pricing structure. So, well, again, we'll talk about all that later. But why advanced tax planning? Like basically, let me make it really easy. So, basic tax planning, you guys, minimizes your tax liability using your current situation. All right. Whereas advanced tax reduction suggests new strategies and concepts that can make a bigger impact on your tax return. All right. So let's talk about some examples of what is advanced tax reduction strategies? What do those look like? Well, the big one, and I know y'all are not y'all, but a lot of you are familiar with this because I get these questions all the time, comes down to changing your business entity, your business structure, or your type. The most common one being S corp election, right? I've heard S corp election can save me money, and it can help in so many instances, but it has to be the right situation. And it's not something that we can advise over this Facebook group. It is specific to each business. Okay. And so hold on. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So it's specific to each business. So we would sit down and we'll say, okay, you want to be an S corp? Well, let's check off the boxes, make sure it's a good fit for you. And what we might find, you guys, is that maybe S corp isn't, but maybe a C corp is. Maybe based on your business structure, your entity, your activity, your all the things, maybe a C corporation is more in line with what your goals are and saving money and can save you more money. Okay. And so many people are scared of C corps. I mean, I was for the longest time. I was like, nope, nope, and nope. But they do have some really good advantages from a tax point of view if it's right for you. Other options that fall under this type of reduction strategy, okay? Oops, there we go. Is if your business has different income streams. So, for example, maybe you provide tax services, but you also offer online digital courses, right? Having those multiple income streams does open up your options for restructuring your business to get some additional tax benefit from it. All right. Hiring certain family members can provide tax benefits. If you invest in real estate, okay, there are different designations that you can take that act almost like different levels that allow you more and more tax reduction. All right. And then, of course, there's always, all the different retirement plan options that we can explore. Okay. So those are just a few of the high level, okay, things we talk about when we talk about advanced tax reduction strategies. But when all is said and done, you guys, this again is where the magic happens. Advanced tax reduction is where, when you hear people say, I mean, we've seen cases where businesses and owners, hold on, I'm on a call. Okay. I said call. I'm on a training. Where was I? Invest in real estate. Oh, so there's no. I don't know where I was. So I'm going to back it up a second. So we talked about if you invest in real estate, there's different designations. I said that. Yep. Don't know where I was. Sorry, guys. Lost my train of thought. Kids. They're great. I really was going somewhere with that. I was giving an example. So we just looked at a tax strategy last week. We were looking at one of the clients' pictures, and with a few different strategies that we put in, they were able to save like 6 figures in taxes, you guys. And there's somewhere again, those bigger clients, they're like, paying no tax. Sometimes it's shady, but there are actual loopholes and that's how our IRS, that's how our code is written, it's full of loopholes. And so, if you're making 6 figures, there's a good chance we can save you 6 figures in tax. Thanks, Loranda. Left off where the magic happens. Like, thank you. And so, but it can also benefit. We did a tax plan for someone whose AGI, their adjusted gross income, was about 50 grand. And we were able to save them $11,000 in tax. Okay. And that's year after year, you guys. That wasn't a one-time thing. That's every single year. And it's just by looking at those advanced tax strategies, proper entity, splitting up your structure, these things that, again, they take a little more time because we got to dig down deep, being your tax planner or your tax advisor and you as the taxpayer. So you got to dig deep, figure out what your actual goals are, where you want to go, what your business is actually doing. But once your advisor actually digs in and gets that information, then it opens the doors for us to explore a lot of different opportunities. Okay. And so let's see. Oh, so then I'm okay, shameless plug here, right? I give you free content every week. So shameless plug. We do advanced tax reduction at Bree Beers and Associates. And the best thing though, you guys, is that we do a completely free tax discovery call with you. Okay. So if you're like, yes, I would love to know if advanced tax reduction, like, can I qualify or can I benefit? Or maybe you're like, my business is too simple. There's no way I can benefit from this. That's not true. Okay. Some of the strategies work for simple businesses. They just are not known about, right? Like a lot of tax advisors just don't dig into what's involved in order to take advantage of these for their clients. So our free tax discovery calls are available for you guys. So you can schedule a free call. Let me put my link in. Oh, this one's long. So we're doing, okay, do two things at once. I should have titled that. If anyone's here, I don't know if Sarah might be here. Sarah, if you're here, will you fix that? And tell them what it is instead of just the long, ugly thing. Anywho, someone's trying to get in the door again. So our free tax strategy call. So we'll look at last year's tax return. There's a questionnaire you'll fill out, right? That we talked about all the things, your goals and how your business is looking in 2020 and all these different things. All right. And once we get those two things back from you, we'll do our analysis and then we'll be able to say, okay, this is where we're at. Loranda, I'm going to use you as an example because I know you're here. Loranda, we looked at your 2019, we looked at your questionnaire, and I'm guessing we can save you about $20,000 in taxes year after year with a few different strategies, and we'll talk, and then we'll price it out because the prices, you guys, depend on what's involved. Because sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's a bunch of, compliance. And so that package, the pricing, that's why it's custom built, because those advanced tax planning packages, they're custom quoted because they vary from business to business. They're going to vary. Even if I had two identical businesses, you and that other business might not have the same goals, right? So it's also going to depend on your goals. And then it's going to depend on how much you're willing to put forth, right? Because sometimes it's like, okay, it's a quick form, let's do it. Other times it's like, okay, we got some compliance work here to do now, right? We need to, there's some extra steps we need to make sure we're following. So that's where our pricing will come in. But in addition to that, you guys, so free tax discovery call for anybody who just is like, this is what I want for my tax advisor, right? What we're moving toward, you guys, and what we've been trying to move toward for the last few years and just trying to figure out how is making sure that your tax return is just a piece of what your advisor is doing for you. Okay. And in fact, it's the last piece. All right. So when you think about your year, we're going to tax planning and strategizing and saving all happens during the year. Right. So we would in 2020, if you come in for tax planning, tax strategizing, we'll make a plan. We'll say, okay, this is what we do for 2020. Here's what we can do for 2021. And we meet throughout the year to talk about how are we doing? Are we on pace to hit our goals? Are we still doing what we need to do? And then you guys, the tax return is really just a reconciliation, right, of everything we actually did for the year. So it's the last piece. And so that's really what we're trying to move toward as our firm, in our firm, like what we believe in. Because as much as, it's great to try and bust out tax returns and help as many people as they can do their tax return. That's not where we really, that's not where we help the most. Where we help the most is keeping money in your pocket, right? I've been telling you that for months. Let us help you keep money in your pocket so you can invest it back into yourselves, back into your business, however you want. And so that is what we're trying to do with more and more of our clients. All right. So, and then so our basic tax planning packages are also available. We're tweaking, this week, we're testing out the scheduling and the checkout process. As soon as my team gets that, huge shout out, by the way, to Sarah, Lindsay Palmer, Carmen, and she's my web designer. She's amazing. Carmen Kendrick, if you need a web designer, she's amazing. But they've been working really hard the last couple of weeks to get this going for you guys. So super big shout outs to that. I hope I didn't miss anyone. But yeah, so those will be up on our website really soon. And so we'll have our basic tax planning packages, and those have prices on them. Maybe we'll sneak peek those. If you guys tell me you want to see them, maybe I'll sneak peek them. But the basic tax planning packages all have prices, and then the advanced ones are the ones where we'll do the free tax discovery call and figure out what that would look like for you. Okay. All right. So I don't see any questions now on this topic. So I think we're good. Thank you, Sarah, for fixing my grossness. That was my schedule your free tax consult here. Thank you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to log off this one. Okay. This is this week's training we're ending. And now we're going to jump on our Q&A and updates. So if you are curious about any updates going on right now, which there really aren't any, but more importantly, if you have questions, tax, entity, accounting, anything that you want to come over and get answered, hop on over to that one in just a minute. I'll start it in 5 minutes. And we'll do some Q&A over there. All right. Let's see. Do I have any ending announcements? Tax planning packages are out. I already said that. Pricing is out. We're testing schedules this week. And as always, PPP and EIDL loan borrowers, right? If you had your PPP or you borrowed from EIDL and you're needing some guidance, remember that we have personalized PPP strategy sessions available. Where you one-on-one Zoom call with me, 30 minutes, we get to talk. I can help you. I can review your application. I can help you with some maybe questions or outstanding items you have. Maybe you need to spend the money still and you don't know how, whatever. Those are all there. Or for my non-DIYers, we have full PPP forgiveness application completion available. I know a lot of us at this point are still waiting. We're like, there's no rush, right? We've talked about it. There's no rush to get this in. But if you're at the point where you need to file for forgiveness, we do have opportunities to help you. That said, okay, training over. So I will see you guys for next week's training at Monday, normal time, Monday, hopefully in a normal place, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then our new schedule is that it will be immediately followed by our weekly updates and Q&A session. So again, I'm going to log off here and I'm going to go log on to our Q&A and updates. All right. Bye, guys.